Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It looks like there's a big glare on my glasses, so hopefully it's not too distracting. If I don't wear them, I can't read comments. Welcome, Celia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so excited to be here with everybody today for a very special live stream event. This month, April, marks 5 years that I have been a teacher on Inisght Timer. So today we're just going to dive a bit into that, and I'm going to reflect with you and ask you all some reflecting questions as well, because 5 years, it's a little bit of a time, and I've been reflecting on that too. And at the end of the session, I'm going to do a giveaway for a gifted session with me where you could receive either a tarot oracle card reading or a Reiki Ancestral Clearing session with me, or any of the other sessions that I offer. Thank you, Wendy. And I know you, along with many, have been here for most of my 5 years here, and if you're brand new and been here for 2 minutes, you're equally appreciated and welcomed as well. Yes, so I'm joining you. I went on a little trip for those who were here in the live stream the other day. When was that? Friday? Yes. Friday, I had just decided right before the live stream that I would be taking a spontaneous vacation just for a few days, and then now it's like I've bookended my mini vacation with being live on Inisght Timer, because as soon as I finish this live stream, I'll be going back home, and that's why I also moved the time earlier. Excuse me. Thank you, Lisa. Glad to see you. J.E., welcome. I've got a little bit of like sneezing that just was happening. How's everybody doing today on this Sunday? Last Sunday in April. Wow, can y'all believe it? 2026, we're coming up on it being halfway through. How is that even real? It seemed like a blink of an eye ago we were doing our New Year's reflections and thinking about the fire horse year, and yeah, now it's almost May. So last night I ended up just coming here on this spontaneous getaway, which was much needed. I've been really working hard and nose to the grindstone, and really not taking any time off at all, which, you know, there's seasons for different things, and that's fine. And my power went out, and it just kind of was a perfect storm of circumstances to lead me to want to get out of town. And I hadn't left my village since December, so that's a long time to be in one place for me, at least. So I booked this place here, and it's in a wonderful location, and I like to go dancing, you know, rarely, and there's this famous club with house music, and I've been wanting to go for the year and a half that I've been back in Mexico, and just, you know, it's not a priority because this city is like an hour and a half away. And I just happened to notice that my place here is like a 2-minute walk from that bar. And so I made myself, even though I wanted to stay in bed and not go, I made myself go last night to the club. And I got there, you know, right before midnight, and it was empty. Like, that's how these sorts of places are, right? Like, you can't arrive too early, and like even before midnight was too early, but that it was fine. But it's just like being in that energy of like, okay, I'm in this mindset. Like, I fell asleep at 8 p.m. for an hour. Hey, Marcy. I did dance with life. Yeah, so I hadn't been to that club in 7 or 8, probably 8 years now. And you know, it was okay. The music has to move me. I don't know if anybody else does any kind of dancing, and I have to feel inspired. And the music was okay, and it wasn't like making me just want to dance like crazy. So I did dance, and I ended up getting home at, what time was it? Like 1:30 a.m. And then of course I wasn't like ready to sleep immediately, so I stayed up for a while watching TV, knowing that I'm going to be here with y'all, knowing I'm traveling home, knowing that mornings after going to sleep late can cause my mind to be not in its normal form. So I'm hopefully caffeinated enough to be able to make sense right now. But I ended up waking, you know, I probably got 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I just wake up at 6 or whatever. Like, that's just what my body does in this older age. And I'm glad I did it, because there's that FOMO that happens, you know. Oh, you know, you say you want to do this and you're like a 2-minute walk away, and so now I can put that to rest. And, you know, just as far as reflecting on, you know, what we're doing here today in our session. And I did bring cards, so I will be doing, you know, a mini collective card reading. We'll see what that entails. But yeah, if you are new to me, I'm Natalie, spiritual life coach and Reiki Master Teacher. So please give me a follow if you haven't already and you care to. Good morning, Barbara. Welcome. And yeah, you can join my group here, Natalie's Healing Circle, where I make announcements and updates, and we can communicate outside of our live streams. You can listen to all my meditations. I have many free and premium tracks. Hi, Catherine. Good morning. And I'll go ahead and pop up my next live stream. Let me find it. Okay. April 29th, when playing small is no longer an option. When playing small is no longer an option. That will be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern on April 29th, so RSVP and attend if you can. You can also catch all my replays on YouTube, and this is also being streamed there as well. So, 5 years ago this month, well actually in March, 5 years ago, I went on Inisght Timer to meditate, and I've had the app since 2014, and you know, used it often for meditation. And so I opened it, and I saw these bubbles at the top of the screen, and it had people's picture inside, and it had a little pink circle around it, and it probably said live or something. And I clicked on one, and then a live stream came up of a teacher, and I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. I want to do this. That was how it happened. It was just this instant yes, this instant knowing. And it was interesting because I had started to set up a teacher profile on Inisght Timer like years before, probably in 2017, and I didn't follow through with it. So I saw, these were teachers on Inisght Timer, so I looked in how to do it. I saw that I had this incomplete profile from 2017, and I completed it, and I was so excited. I had just started my life coaching business, which many of you know that dramatic story. And I mean, we all remember the early months of 2020. Well, wait, this was 2021. Right. So we were just still in the middle of COVID, but we'd been in COVID for a year at that point. Thank you, Jeff. Glad to see you. I know so many of you have, as I said earlier, been with me for most of this 5 years, and it means so much. And also, if you're here for the first time, I'm equally grateful as well. So yeah, I had just been life coaching like 2 months, so I was brand new, and I was so on fire. I was so loving life. So excited, so happy to be out of my corporate job that, the energy there was no bueno. I was living in Thailand. I had been living there since the beginning of COVID. I lived there for 3 years total. And so that's what happened that day. I'll always remember opening the app and seeing these teachers and like, oh my God, I can do meditations. And so I did in April 5 years ago. And what it required of me was going outside my comfort zone. I had taught meditation since 2017 and, never in a capacity like this. And as I said, I was new in my life coaching business. And my enthusiasm and the excitement of it pushed me forward through any fear, through any discomfort or uncertainty, and I just let that inspiration and enthusiasm guide me. And it, I remember my first live stream. It was out on my porch, and there was many mosquitoes, and many people came, and it was great. And then I got another inspired idea to do Reiki, distance Reiki during the live streams. So what I love about this story is I had an intuitive hit. I went on the app, I had the experience I had that I told you, and my thought was, ooh, I can do guided meditations. And that's all I thought it would be. From where I was, I could only see that next step. And then once I took that next step, and then I did a couple lives with guided meditation, then the next inspired idea came. Ooh, distance Reiki. I couldn't see that part from the beginning, right? The whole path wasn't unveiled. I could just see the next step. And isn't it that way with life for us? We're not always going to know where the journey is going to take us. I had no idea where this Inisght Timer journey would take me. And, I want to ask you all, did you have any idea where this Inisght Timer journey would take you? How many people have you met? How many teachers have you connected with? How much transformation have you had? How many experiences? I know so many people here have connected outside the app, live, in person. I mean, I have done that as well. So it's really beautiful to consider, all the gifts of this app and, what you think you might get out of it, or where you think this journey might take you, and then allowing the unfolding of it. And so, for me, it was following that intuitive hit. and continuing to follow it and following my delight, which was, ooh, meditation, ooh, Reiki. And then it's just been this step-by-step journey that has led me to be sitting here with you 5 years later. I am too, Lisa, and so glad that you're here. And thank you. And I know I've connected deeply with many of you, and so grateful for that. And you know, for me, a big part of my teacher journey here on Inisght Timer has been my awakening to intuition. So I always share this part of it as well, because when I discovered 5 years ago Inisght Timer as a teacher, I had reawakened my intuitive journey, but it was still in its early development stages. I got attuned to Reiki. There's 3 levels of Reiki. I got attuned to Reiki level 1 in the year 2003, and I dabbled in it, and then I just didn't do it again. I quit. And it wasn't until, I'm trying to think of the chain of events, but around 2016 that I picked it back up. I was working in a rehab in Bali, and we offered all these services to the clients there. And so I was actually leading guided meditations and breath work, and then I told the owner, like, hey, I do Reiki, like I can do Reiki sessions for the clients. And I still remember this one Reiki session I did with somebody where I could see colors, not tangibly, but in my mind's eye, like in my third eye or whatever. And I felt energy, and I felt drawn to work on certain areas of the body. And this was a new experience for me. And the client also felt the same things in the same, parts of the body. So it was very validating. It was very powerful for them. It was very powerful for me. And that was really kind of the reawakening. And then I got attuned to Reiki level 2, either before or after, I can't remember. And then I started doing tarot. I think actually that was before. So I've been reading tarot since 2015. And so that all had happened. And then I found you all here as a teacher. Oh, thank you, Wendy. And wonderful to hear that this app has helped you so much, and my part in that as well. Thank you for sharing that. Hi Drazel, shalom, welcome. So as I started doing distance Reiki here in Inisght Timer in the live streams, and I was doing giveaways and things, and I was doing a lot of distance Reiki one-on-one outside of the live streams. It just naturally occurred. And I started having these experiences with these people where I would get intuitive information, that can't be explained, right? And I would pick up on things, I would feel energy, like all of that stuff. And that had not really happened for me before. So this was a big deal. And I was really inspired and excited. And so I decided to get my Reiki Master at that time. So, this is all part of my own awakening journey. Let's take a breath. And this whole process has evolved over the years. I've diversified, I've expanded the things that I talk about here with y'all. I've done so many different types of live streams, different giveaways and all kinds of wonderful things. And I've met so many of you. I've met some of you in person, which is such a privilege and so amazing. And many of you I've met via a video call, but one-on-one, and then some of you I've met only through here, and that's totally fine as well. My heart is full of gratitude for all of you, for Inisght Timer as well. You know, it's so valuable for us, especially now, to have spaces like this, to have places of respite, even technological, right? So, you know, we access this through our phones. Our phones aren't bad, right? But yet we can get that attitude because of all the things that come along with technology and phones and everything. And there's many wonderful things that come from apps and phones and technology as well, right? So how wonderful that we have this. Yeah, I mean, Inisght Timer has changed my own life in so many ways, and I'm so grateful for, you know, the original person who had the idea, who started the app, you know, many years ago now, and then it's been bought. I don't know at what point, but the man owning it now is not the original. And, you know, great things are happening and have happened. We now have video here on Inisght Timer. I mean, how many of you have been around to see the evolution of the app? Courses, you know, courses started about 5 years ago. Retreats. We used to have workshops. I did a workshop. They don't offer that anymore. You used to could do like one-on-one sessions. They don't offer that anymore. But there's retreats. There's now video courses and video meditations. That's on my list of things to do. But yeah, you know, I was just also thinking about life 5 years ago, and I wanted to invite you all to think about that. Like, where were you 5 years ago in the first part of 2021? What was happening? It was the height of COVID, and we were COVID weary. It had been going on for a year, you know, with no end in sight at that point. It had actually gotten worse around then. Yeah. As I said, I was living in Thailand. I was just new in my coaching business and green in that sense. I was doing a lot of 12th step work and 12th step recovery, taking many people through that 12 step process. And I was just so loving life, loving living in Thailand during COVID. It was such a blessing and a once in a lifetime experience. And I got to, you know, be here with you through all of that. Welcome, Heidi. I know you have been part of the community for a long time. Thank you for joining in and saying hello. Yeah, and it's like now here I am now. Here we are now, 5 years later. You know, I was in Thailand, then back to Bali, then to India, Sri Lanka, now back in Mexico. You know, I was gone from Mexico for 6 or 7 years because of COVID. And now just in this past week, I'm having a feeling to return to Asia, not soon, but yeah, I'm feeling into that intuition, and we'll see where it takes me. So, if you think about this past 5 years, what would you say your biggest challenge has been? And how has this community, how has your spirituality helped you to overcome? How has it helped you with your resilience, with your faith and trust? I have lived in Vietnam before, Catherine, and it's funny you say that. Maybe that's a hit from the universe, because I was on my phone earlier. One of my old Reiki students, who I connected with in Thailand, her story popped up and I looked at it, and she was on this island in Vietnam, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. So yeah, I'm just dropping in and tuning in and trusting the unfolding. You know, honestly, I have been so attached to staying here where I am in Mexico because I do love it so much, and something is shifting, and I'm just allowing that and noticing that and not making any rash decisions. But you know, one thing about this journey for me personally, also as a spiritual life coach and Reiki Master Teacher, you know, I really do tune into what is on the inside. Where is my inner compass leading me? And sometimes I don't know, and we've done a live stream on that. I think that was the last live stream we did. If you don't know what's next, if you've made a big transformation and you're like in that in-between space, and I feel like something is shifting. I feel like Asia is calling me. We'll see. Ooh, I love that, Marcy. You didn't know how to let go and didn't even know that's what you needed. So what I hear in that, and I love it so much, you didn't know what you didn't know. Let that land. You didn't know what you didn't know. And that's a true blind spot, right? A blind spot is like we don't know. And we don't even know that we don't know. Does that make sense with everybody? And actually, that's one of my jobs as a coach, is when I see a blind spot, and not that I point out every single, I mean, that is not necessarily in service. It depends on where the person's at, and anyway, that's part of a bigger conversation. But one of my, quote, jobs, as I see it, is to illuminate. And, you know, if there are blind spots. I had a really fun moment in a coaching conversation yesterday. This person said it more than once in the session, and you know, my mind will hone in on language, because that's a big part of, for me as a coach, language gives clues, right? Language gives clues to our subconscious and our beliefs underneath things. So this person said more than once they would try to do something. And I was new meeting with this person. So, you know, once I'm working with somebody regularly, there's much more, I would say, like, permission in relationship. But with, you know, a newer person, I'm very much more asking lots of permission in the conversation. So, but the second time I heard them say something about trying to do something, I said, can I stop you there? Can I, you know, ask you something or show you something? And they said yes. And I said, do you have a pen nearby? And they had a pen right there. And I said, I want you to try to pick up that pen. And they reached over, and then it was like, and I'm like, you can't do it, can you? And she just was blown away. Her mind was blown. And until you see it, you don't know. And I told her, I said, you know, somebody did this with me like 25 years ago and I never forgot it. That, you know, okay, there's a tarot card here. Try to, how can I, like, okay, try to pick it up. Try. You can't. You either pick it up or you don't. Try is nothing. So it was a wonderful opening moment for this person. Their mind was opened, and it was really fun just to be feeling that and experiencing that with them. And so that's an example of like a blind spot. So thank you, Heidi. Wonderful. Awesome, Drazel. Great to hear that. You are so welcome. So, I guess that's the end of that train of thought, because it feels like the end of it. So yeah, I just want to draw a couple cards for the community. And yeah, we'll just see what they have to say right now. And the cards have been such a fun part of the live streams as well. You know, I have been coming live this time of day, on this day, you know, Sunday mornings, almost every Sunday morning for 5 years. So I love doing this. I love doing, you know, the energy healing, the clearing, the ancestral clearing, all the different live streams we've done. So if there's something that you haven't seen me do that you would like to, if there's something that you know, want to see me do or come back to do again, let me know. I like those ideas, J.E. Yeah, and so that's a good point. And if somebody was reaching, they would still be in movement and action, and there would still be something happening. But that's also a great way to look at it as well. And just in a general sense, for most people, you cannot try to do something. It's just not possible. So it's safe. It keeps us safe. Well, I can try. Try leaves a space open for me to not do it. And then if I don't do it, I don't have to feel bad about it because I never committed to saying I was going to do it. So it's this little sneaky loophole that the mind and the ego come up with. Woo. This one popped out. 2 of Pentacles. So some of you are in a contemplation phase. You're wondering what to do. You feel pulled in 2 directions. You're weighing options. How many of you can relate to this? You know, she's contemplating. There's these pentacles here, and the original 2 of Pentacles, the guy, I think he's actually like, it looks kind of like this. This one looks a little bit different. But you're contemplating, you're evaluating, you're weighing all of your options. You're thinking, should I go left? Should I go right? What should I do? Which way should I go? So you're coming up with some sort of contemplation phase based on maybe a decision that gets to be made. Hey, Deirdre. Cool. Hi, April. No, we have not done the giveaway yet. We will do it after this card reading. Yeah. Thank you, Deirdre. So grateful for you as well. I know you've been a member of the community for a long time, and grateful for our connection. Hi, KP. So the way the giveaway will work, so when we finish this, I will announce how to enter. So we're not there yet. So hang on and wait, because for me to be able to make sure it's cohesive and everybody gets entered, we want to wait until that time for logistical reasons. So we also have the 7 of Wands here. So yeah, so there's a lot of energy even with these 2 cards. It feels a bit chaotic. It feels a bit maybe not misaligned, but not smooth. This does not feel smooth. It feels like maybe you're being pulled in different directions here. That could be what this is. And then you're kind of just like, everybody give me a damn break. Like, leave me alone. Let me figure my shit out. Let me do my thing. Because yeah, this feels like, I can just feel this energy pulling. And maybe it's you weighing a decision, but also outside influences are trying to force you when you're not yet clear and ready, if you can relate to that. So it doesn't feel like it's just you, like, oh yeah, I can take my time, I can do what I need to do in order to get clarity, I can do my rituals, I can do my things. It feels like there's outside influences that are wanting you to do it on their timeline and not your own. And so it feels disorienting. And so you're like, nah, everybody just leave me the fuck alone, basically. Let me do my thing. Let me figure out on my own in my timeline and not yours. So you can see these wands here, these 7 wands, they're trying to get into your energy. They're trying to challenge you. And you're like, no, I'm in my bubble. You can see her solar plexus is lit up. That's her seat of power. She's like turning her head to the side. She's got her wonderful namaste, kind of like blocking the energy, like, nah, y'all ain't getting this. You aren't robbing my peace. So if you're not here yet, this is your advice when you're in this energy. So it's like this energy like this, and then that 7 of Wands, it's like, no mas. You get to be in your own power, be sovereign, be present, be patient, tune into your own inner guidance here, that solar plexus as well. Remember your true power. You are all powerful beings. You might not experience yourself in that way because of conditioning and society and happenings and whatever, and you are. It's just about remembering your power and grounding back into that, and that's going to help you come out of this and make the choice. Yeah, April, so just hang around, and then when I say it's time to enter, then you can put your name or whatever, or just emoji in the chat, and then I will look back at the recording. Oh, the other thing I want to say too before I forget, you must be in Natalie's healing circle to be eligible, because if you're not in there and we're only connected here, there's no way for me to get in touch with you. There's no way for me to communicate with the winner if you're not in Natalie's healing circle, which is my group here on Inisght Timer. So that's why I require people to be members there, because I can make an announcement in there that you will see. rather than just hoping you'll be on a live stream and see the winner, you know. So y'all can do that. Ooh, we have the Lovers. So Lovers is the card of Gemini, of which I am. Who else here has Gemini placements? It can be a card of choices. In traditional tarot, before it became the Lovers, it was like the choices card because it's Gemini, and there's two things here. There's duality here. So, and it's interesting that we have this here, right? Marcy, yes, I know you're a Gemini rising. I think you have a lot of Gemini placements, don't you? So it's like once you kind of take your power back, and it looks like too, like you get to cleanse your energy and cleanse your auric field. I did this with a client last week in session because of where they were, and they had done this, you know, overseas travel, and had our session the next day, and it felt like, and I did a very deep cleansing and clearing of their body energy and this auric field around the body. So some of you get to do that because, as I said, this feels like a lot of push-pull with a lot of different energies and people and things, and like you're off your center. So once you go through this step, you know, you're going to be able to see your choices more clearly, whatever they may be, and you're going to have a lot more clarity about which way to go. But you've got to clean up your energy first. You've got to ground yourself. You've got to let go of people pleasing, of codependency, of attachment issues, or any sort of relational dynamics that are not clean and clear, to kind of get clarity and get your center back. And then you'll be able to make a clear choice. Now, I mean, if you're in a romantic space, this may be romance. There may be a lover coming in, you know, and as I said, it can be a card of choices. And it just feels like once you get to this Lovers card, there will be clarity. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Star. So underneath all this is a transformation and personal healing for you. So who you become on this little journey the cards have described here, you know, you going from here to here, that's a big journey. And then this is the way that you get there. So let me plug in my power. And I want to look at the Lovers. I'm going to look on, let me see. My phone is charging back here. I wish I had a better view for you. And y'all have seen many different views over the years here in my live streams. I mean, I've got 5 years of replays, and it would be cool to look back and see, oh, here I was in Thailand here, and Thailand there, Bali here, Bali there, India, Sri Lanka, Mexico. I think those are the only countries. I can't remember. And I was thinking, like, I didn't have to wear glasses 5 years ago. And honestly, there's some self-pity there. There's some resistance there to glasses that I'm still having to work with, and that's a whole other story. So As y'all know, the Light Seers cards have affirmations with them. So the affirmation for this: my heart is open to deeply meaningful connection, and I'm expansive. My heart is open to deeply meaningful connection, and I am expansive. So in context of this card journey here, it's like there's something here where there's not deep and meaningful and authentic connections that you get to clean up by going into your own energy and your own self and discerning and determining. And then you get to come into deeply meaningful connections. You get to expand. Really, J.E.? You have been with me for so much of the journey. It's wonderful. So the meanings for this card generally are a choice, as I said, dualities, harmony, a love or romantic relationship, friendship, unity, the choice to allow yourself to fall in love. For some of you, you might get to open yourself back up to that possibility. Healthy boundaries, soulmates, and love. So yeah, what I was sensing here in this chaotic energy, and I even said it was about boundaries. So, this is a card of healthy boundaries as well. So it says, mastering self-love is the key to balance the duality of any relationship, as with all willing partnerships. The choice to step into vulnerability must be made consciously. Beautiful. So that is your message for today, and we'll now get into the giveaway for those of you that care to. So as I said, you need to be a member of Natalie's Healing Circle here in Inisght Timer and the group, the Inisght Timer groups that they have, just to be able to communicate if you win. And so other than that, I will now open it up. If you want to be, if you want to put your name in the hat, just give an emoji in the chat, or just say me or whatever. Say I won in or giveaway, etc. And then what I do is I go back and I watch the replay, and I come back to this point, and then I look at everybody who has requested to enter, and then I just do like a random number generator. So hi Christian, welcome. Christian has also been with me for a very long time, and so many of you. It's so wonderful to share this with you all. It's so wonderful to have this connection, have this app, have the support, have this community, this fellowship, and sharing just so many wonderful moments in connection with people all over the world. So we will leave the floor open for a few minutes. If you want to follow me and you haven't already, you can do so here. The card's popping up. And it would be nice if you follow me also to be in the giveaway, just as a show of support. I'm coming up on 5,000 followers. It's been a long and wonderful road, so I'm very grateful for everybody here. If you do care to donate, you can do so here. You can also donate any time in the profile section, in my profile or whatever. They have all different ways to do things now. I'm also thinking of opening or creating a retreat here in Inisght Timer. It would be for Mexico. I know that, how many of you have seen the retreat section here in the app? I am going away for 5 weeks. Yeah, I think it's 5 weeks. So it would be later on in the summer. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, Marcy, for the donation. Awesome, Christian. I didn't know you became a Reiki practitioner, or if I did, I forgot. That's wonderful. I love that. How was your experience, Catherine? Was it like a one-day thing or a few days, or because I've seen different offerings here. Like I saw one teacher, she basically does a little retreat like every weekend. She offers like a one-day thing, and I've seen many different options. So all right, well, we will go ahead and begin closing. Ooh, wow, Catherine, 7 days in Costa Rica. That sounds absolutely amazing. Are you offering that again? Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for joining and for your support. Okay. I will be going to Guatemala in a few weeks. Well, like 6 weeks. Costa Rica's on the list and not high on the list, and maybe it should be. Maybe in the winter, but I may, if I go back to Asia, I likely will go in the winter, so I'll probably either go to Costa Rica or Asia. Well, I will go to one of those two, I imagine. Awesome. Well, we will go ahead and end here. It's been wonderful to be with you and share this with you. I know that I made a last minute change to the live stream time, so for those of you that were still able to find this and join, it's been wonderful to share this with you. All of you who have participated and who continue to, and stay tuned for the winner of the giveaway. Y'all have some good odds, so good luck to all of you. And as I said, join me for my next live stream. I'll put it up again. When playing small is no longer an option, April 29th at 2:30 p.m. And all of my replays are available on my YouTube channel. So if you have to come back or whatever, anything, they're all over there. If you want me to send you the direct link to a certain one or anything, just send me a message. Wonderful, Drazel. Will do. Thank you, Denise, Christian. Yeah, I really am eternally grateful for Inisght Timer for so many reasons. It has connected me with so many beautiful souls, which many of you are here now and some are not. And yeah, just sending everybody so much loving. Here's to 5 more. We'll see where the journey takes us all. Thank you, Drazel. And glad that people do find it valuable to utilize the replays. And if you care to, I do offer my visioning process. And if you do win the giveaway and you want that, if you are called to that process, that can definitely be an option. And that's something I offer everybody who hasn't had a session with me, is my visioning process that I do offer as a gift. So if you feel the heart's call to really deep dive into looking at where you are in your life right now, what's stuck, what's working, what's not working, where do you want to go, what are you tired of, send me a message. You can do so here, Facebook, Instagram, website, YouTube, all of that is in my links here in my profile. So thank you all so much. I will see you all very soon, and namaste.